everybody. This is Dr. Charm coming to you with yet another Sistas review. Today we're going to talk about Season 4, Episode 8, entitled The Sister. And I think we know exactly who the sister is, y'all. That's Fatima. This episode was all about Fatima, child. Okay? So we left on the last episode. The girls have gathered inside the penthouse that Creepy Gary has gifted to Andi. And they, kikiing and about to drink some liquor. They're offering Karen liquor. Karen was like, I cannot partake because I'm pregnant. And of course, Daddy, y'all. Shout out to Daddy. I love her. She is the comic relief of the show. But Daddy basically says, girl, who is the baby? Daddy. And are you keeping it? Okay? Who is it? So, and of course, honey, Miss Karen is like, the baby is Zack's. And so they're chit-chatting, and then all of a sudden, honey, that elevator opens up, and Fatima comes out dressed in all black like the Omen, okay? Shout out to Lil Kim, okay? Dressed in all black like the Omen, all right? So Fatima looked like she was ready to rumble. She came ready. And Andi then was already concerned because they were like, both of these bitches is packing heat. I don't know if it's going to be a shootout. Is this the OK Corral? But Fatima was real smooth. She was real smooth. So Karen strolled up, very confrontational. I'm pregnant. And Fatima was like, I know. Man, I love how Fatima handled that. And then Karen starts, and it's Zack's. And Fatima was like, I know. And Karen starts in all of this, and Zack calls me every day and checks on me every day. And Fatima was like, I have his passwords to both of his cell phones, and I don't see no calls. Okay, none. And Cameron just looked taken aback because, honey, when she was with Zack, he was hiding that phone and shucking and diving and bitches coming all out the woodworks talking about this and this and that. But he's a different man with Miss Fatima. And Fatima was basically like, look, man, there's 9 months that's going to happen, and anything can happen with our relationship. And everybody was like, girl, please, we know Zack is head over heels for you. And so basically, Fatima was very gracious because she says to Karen, she's like, girl, look, I know how you feel. He hurt you. We raise a man as women. We raise these boys into men. We pour into all of this. And in many occasions, in many instances, they will run off and give all that to another woman and be this wonderful, giving person that they weren't with you to a whole nother bitch. Okay? It's a real deal. So basically, Karen just, Andi made her apologize, and she apologized, and Fatima took it Fatima is a class act, y'all. Fatima is a class act. And if y'all don't know, if you don't know already, Fatima and Zack are going to get their own show. They're getting their own spinoff on BET+. I'm like, damn it, Tyler, you're going to make me go and get my coins and get me some streaming to get the BET+, because I'm definitely not missing that show. And most likely it's probably that show is going to come out after this season of Sistas is over. Because, Tyler, he will do a whole season in a month. They'll shoot a whole season in a month. They work fast over there at Tyler Perry Studios. But we get back to the girls, and basically she told Fatima that she just wanted to hurt her. That's what she did. But she didn't do anything. She just looked stupid. That's what she did. So, Fatima told Karen, like, I'm not going to mistreat your child. If it is Zack's baby, but first Fatima said, bitch, you need to get a paternity test. But she said, if it turns out that it is Zack's baby, I'm going to co-parent. I'm not standing in the way. I'm not going to mistreat your child. And hey, shout out to Fatima for that, because there's a lot of people involved in baby mama drama and baby daddy drama and this, and hey, if you don't break up with this woman, you can't see your kid, and courtroom battles. I mean, there's a lot of that goes on. So the character of Fatima, I think she was very classy with what she did and how she did it, and she's so supportive of Zack. And no wonder he's a different man with her, because she's just so supportive of him. So basically, Sabrina is telling the girls that about that whole little brouhaha with Calvin and the African dude over down to the restaurant where he left her with the check, child. So she's telling about that. And baby, that was so funny. Danny said, well, what happened? Why did he get into a fight? He said, did he win? And she did that little tour. Remember when Calvin got in that fight at the bank? Oh! Oh my God. Y'all know that went viral. That went viral. So Danny mimics that little twirl when Calvin fell out. And we're all still questioning Calvin's sexuality. He says he's straight, but he has a lot of things that are saying otherwise. So they really giving it to Polo Calvin. And basically Fatima was like, whose place is this? And Andi don't want to talk about it, but Andi reveals that Gary bought this place. So basically the girls, they have their little kiki. They invite Fatima to stay. And they really like Fatima. They have respect for Fatima, especially the way she handled this Karen situation. Because a lot of people, it might have turned into a girl fight, okay? And some people might have gone to jail, or somebody might be shot with bullet holes and stab wounds and everything, child. So we got to the scene with Jack. Jack calls Zack and apologizes about everything that went down at the basketball court with Gary. Because remember last episode, Gary basically just says to Zack, like, yo, people are talking about you with this whole thing with the stock, and I can help you out if you put in a good word about me to Fatima so that she can influence Andi. And Zack was like, nah, man, I'm not a pimp. So that's what happened last episode. And Jake just basically called to apologize. And he did tell him, people are starting to talk about you a little bit. Why don't you go ahead and, make it where you don't look so much like you done involved yourself in insider trading, which is what he did, y'all. He did the insider trading. So he said, buy some stock that might lose, do some things like that so that we don't raise any red flags, okay? So basically Fatima comes back and she tells Zack what happened, that Karen tried to try her, but that she likes Karen, she likes all the girls, she likes that group. And, that's what's going on. And so, what else is good? Well, Andi calls Karen from the penthouse and says she's going to spend the night at the penthouse. So we really know now, first she didn't want to have no parts of the penthouse. She was going to stay in her unit and just wait till tomorrow. She got up in that penthouse and everything, and oh Lord, honey. But that penthouse is gorgeous, y'all. I'm still going on about that damn penthouse. But she tells, tells Karen that she's going to spend the night there at the penthouse. And Aaron calls Karen. He's sitting in the car after the basketball game, and basically he tells Karen, he's like, girl, I've been thinking about everything and just the dates about when we had sex and everything, and there's a real possibility that this baby is mine. And Karen is just shutting that down immediately. And it's just like, girl, how are you saying this is Zach's baby? You haven't been to the doctor. You haven't done any type of ultrasound. You don't even know how far along you are. And she's shutting it down because she wants it to be Zach so bad. You got a man that loves you. The man says, hey, I will be happy. Preacher man, he said, I'll be happy if the baby is mine. But I'll also be happy if it's not mine. I love you. I'm going to be with you regardless. And there's not a lot of men that would do that. So when you have one and he loves her, she just really needs to, she's stuck. This girl is really stuck on Zack. Girl, you got rid of him. You spent 3 years with him. It was in and out of jail, couldn't keep a job. He was giving her money, all this. Girl, just take that and just move on. She's really stuck. And for you ladies that get stuck like that, whatever you got to do, prayer, worship, therapy, or something, talk to somebody, you got to get unstuck, because them soul ties is something else. They really are something else. But Andi, we go back to Andi back into the apartment, and she looks on the bed, in the master bed, and there is a iPad there. She plays the iPad, and of course it's Gary looking suited and booted and everything. And Gary actually, he just looked really earnest and he just looked really earnest and very cute. And he says, hey, let me give you a walking tour of the apartment. And he talked about how he had all her favorite things there. She gets to the refrigerator. He even had her favorite ice cream there. So, it was just amazing. It was really amazing. And he even had love notes inside of the counter there in the closet, in that humongous 3,000 square foot closet. He even had little love letters and stuff in there. So he thought of everything. And he said, look, if you want me to come up there, say yes. And if not, then say no. So it's like, hey, he's really trying. He's really trying. And again, he almost makes us forget that he was sexing on the therapist and choking Andi See, he's doing what they see. If anybody studied a narcissist, he's doing what's called love bombing. Because see, they have that cycle, those abusive cycles. He's in that honeymoon period. He's love bombing her. And then he'll go back to doing some stupid shit. I really hope Andi sees the light. I really do. But Gary calls Zack. So we cut to Gary calling Zack, and he's apologizing. And he's like, man, how did you know about this stock? And Zack is like, hey, I just had a hunch. And Gary tells him, go ahead and take some cash out of your the bank and just have some cash on hand. Turns out when Gary gets off that phone in his office, guess who is sitting there in the office? No other than Hayden. Woo! Y'all, bitch ass Hayden. I can't stand Hayden. Hayden is sitting there on crutches. And Gary said, what happened to you? How did you hurt yourself? He said, I fell off my electric motorcycle. Now, that electric motorcycle was Fatima's goons. Yeah, that's who the electric motorcycle was. And Hayden sounded like a battered husband over here. He know good and well Fatima had his ass whooped, and he still won't stop. So he basically says, I want to know what's going on. He leaves out. Jake comes in, and Jake was like, why are you even talking to Hayden? And Gary was like, we just go way back. And Jake was like, this dude is shady. So I don't know. So I didn't even know they were clicked in together, but it turns out they are. And it also turns out that Hayden called the SCC about Zack. He called the SCC. He's such a little punk. Oh my God. Can't stand him. But, basically, they really are just trying to find out, how did Zack get this money? Why can't they just be happy for the brother? I mean, y'all all got more than he does anyway. He's never had anything. This guy's a felon. He's been in and out of jail. Well, why can't they be happy for him? But anyways, we cut to Maurice pulls up to the bank. And honey, none other coming out of the bushes is Q, y'all. Q has returned to the scene of the crime. If you all recall, Q robbed the bank, held Sabrina, and held Maurice at gunpoint and robbed the bank. Oh my God. And now he's telling Maurice that he wants him to let him come over there and live. He needs a place to stay. Now, how you gonna rob somebody that cause them to almost lose their job and then talking about, I need a place to stay to parole? So Maurice says, no, get out of here. Sabrina rolls up. Sabrina was like, man, you better stop talking to him because the bank might think that you in on this robbery and stuff. So this whole, I don't understand what's going on with this Q and Maurice storyline. It's very strange to me. It's really weird. But so then we cut to Jake is over to Zack's house. Jake is over to Gary's house. No, oh Lord, I said Zack. Jake is over to Zack's house. And he's basically asking him like, hey, how did you know about the stock? And Zack is like, I just had a hunch. I've been following this stock. And so Jake starts to quiz him. And he's like, man, well, what was the stock doing in 2015? What was the stock doing 6 months ago? And Zack is like, I don't know. And shout out to Jake. Jake sounded like a criminal defense attorney. He was like, look, man, I'll help you. I'll prepare you. We're going to go over all the details. I don't want to know how you found out what you found out. But if the SEC, he's basically told him that there has been an inquiry. And if they come and talk to him and they don't like what he's saying, that inquiry is going to turn into an investigation. So they're talking. They cool. All of a sudden we hear a knock on the door. And the lady that had been at Karen's shop is there with a whole bunch of Atlanta PD and proceeds to arrest Zack, y'all. Zack gets arrested, y'all. So, I'm like, man, can a brother get a break? Can a brother catch a break? I mean, my goodness. Yes, insider trading is wrong. It's wrong and it's illegal, but can't the brother catch a break? I mean, people get away with crooked shit all the time. So I just wish they'd leave him alone. Lord, can't he live? So we'll see what happens next week. It looks like we're going to get further into this whole why Zack got arrested thing. But it is interesting to me that they've arrested him that quick and he just hit, the stock just hit. I mean, usually these type of investigations and things take years or at least months. And it's only been a couple of weeks. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. But I tell you what, the first thing that needs to happen is Karen needs to carry her ass over to the OB-GYN's office and get her damn pregnancy test and an ultrasound and a blood test so we can see how far along this girl is. This is a mess. I've had enough of this. But this was a really good episode. Again, the star of this episode was Fatima. Fatima was level-headed in a situation where a lot of women would not have been level-headed, especially with, you know, your guy. But again, she said to the girls, hey, this happened when Zack and we were not in a committed relationship. We had not established what we were. We were not exclusive. And so he did not know how I felt about him, and I didn't know how he felt about me. But now we solid and we tight, and we gonna handle this shit. I think the baby is gonna turn out to be Aaron's, and then Karen is gonna really have an existential crisis. I think it's gonna turn out to be Aaron's baby. And that's what I'm hoping, because woo, we don't need Karen in the mix. Lord have mercy. Well, anyways, y'all, it's been fun. See y'all next week for the next recap and review of Sistas, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye.